The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We broke this news yesterday. Well, we didn't break the news about the Bears playing in London. You knew that. Chicago Bears, high feature of the NFL this offseason, going into the season, because they're going to be on Hard Knocks with Caleb Williams and all the draft picks, and finally an offense. It could be, in fact, it is the most anticipated year of the Bears in my memory coming in here. And we're going to London. Let's go!
I'm so excited.
This is incredible. So the link is up now at Q101.com. It's Q101.com/London. And we've put together not just a trip to go see an incredible football game against the Jacksonville Jaguars at Tottenham Stadium. This is going to be an experience for you in London. We've made it work out where you can get there. And like for me, when I first went over, I did this once to see a football game in London, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Jaguars. I still talk about that trip to everybody and how amazing it was, because I'd never been anywhere outside the United States. And so I did that. Got a passport and went and did it. One of my most memorable trips with my then girlfriend, now wife. And so this can be that for you. I really believe that.
Well, it's going to be that for me, because I've never been to London. I've gone outside the country before. I've never been to London. I am so excited about this. And for me, it's like, obviously, I really want to see the Bears in London. But when they told us, of course, we're going to, do some work while we're there with the show. And I'm like, oh, I hope it's not like you're flying in the day before the show, day before the game, and then you have to leave right away. Because I'm like, I want to see it. I haven't experienced it. And what's amazing about this package is this is the trip you take to London if there wasn't a Bears game. But there is a Bears game, so you're also doing that. It's so incredible. It's so many things that were on my bucket list to do in London.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if you add up the plane ticket and a Bears ticket, and by the way, if you look up London packages, because of course you are starting to sell them, none of them include the Bears ticket. So ours is the only one that has that Bears ticket in it.
Yeah.
So just the flight, a nice vetted hotel, because they're a little different with hotels in different countries. Just a heads up.
Kenzie vetted it, the hotel.
Let me tell you something, because I ain't staying in no junkie schmunky. I'm not playing with it. So I went and looked. Very, very nice. Very highly rated. Loved it. Chef's kiss. The Bears game. And then all those individual activities. I'm like, I mean, this trip would be significantly more than what you could get it for if you book all these things individually. This package is so dope. I love it.
Facts on that all the way through. And it's a premium Bears ticket with a game day experience that's also included with the London experience. So this is something fantastic. We're so excited about it because we give you the best music experiences without question, better than any other radio station in the country. And I mean that. I believe that, and it's true when I see it. I talk to people all over the country. And this is cool to dive into the sports world now with this show and this station of giving you an experience like that. Same level, quality, elite trip with your flight, your hotel, a premium ticket to the game, luxury coaches for all transfers and tours. And all these tours are the must-see landmarks of London that you've heard about. You will be there with us.
Well, and it's also nerve-wracking. I know Megan has traveled so much, so now you have ended up traveling a lot. And me and my husband do as well. It's a little scary sometimes when you're booking stuff internationally, because you're like, well, I hope this company is reliable. Like, I'm sending this over. I hope they exist when I show up. That could be a little scary.
Sure.
So this is also, there's a comfort there. Like, you're like, well, I know Q101 exists.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
Yeah, we're going to be fine. We're
to
here.
feel safe and secure.
You can go see all the details and do it now, because if you book before the end of June, you only have to put a deposit down right now to get on the trip. So before the end of June, you got like 3.5 weeks. Details are at Q101.com/London. Q101.com/London.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And it's time for the weekend Q101. This is stuff going on in and around Chicago you may not be aware of. And last weekend, you felt it. Like, there's now everything's going on. Besides, of course, we talk about Picnic next weekend is going to just take it over with its Picnic at the Taste of Randolph. But let's not get to next weekend yet. Let's do this weekend. And Case always starts with the music. Case, the producer, so go ahead, bud.
That's right. Soccer Mommy, who has played the Q101 Lounge before, she is doing a solo set at Shuba's tonight. I'm going to try to sneak my way in there because that sounds like a lot of fun. She is a brilliant singer-songwriter. But the important stuff here, the really juicy stuff, two things. One, the Ravinia opens this weekend. I know all of my people up in that neck of the woods, they are very concerned about the Cicadas making too much noise for the concerts this weekend. It's Jerry Goodman tonight and James Taylor on Saturday and Sunday. I hope everybody going has a great time, and I hope the Cicadas do not attack you.
The thing is, both those artists, pretty quiet artists.
I know. No, it's not Slayer, you know?
Too bad it's not Pitbull again like last year. It would have been fine.
I saw Interpol there once. I thought people were going to die from how loud it was and how intense the strobe lights were. This is not that kind of show.
No. I mean, sometimes you got James Taylor out there with just his guitar.
Yeah.
Cicadas are loud.
They're really loud, so that is going to be a problem.
Backup band.
They're harmonizing with him.
I got to say, like, when I first moved to Chicago many years ago and I went up to Ravinia, I got a girl invited me up there, and my brother actually, too, a bunch of us. It is such a cool vibe out there in the park. I mean, the band doesn't even matter sometimes. Just going to a show out there, the girls brought sandwiches and wine and cheese.
Sundresses.
Oh, well.
It's a great time.
That's a given.
I mean, I was there a few years ago for Morrissey and Interpol, and it's one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to. It was a beautiful September night, beautiful evening, great bands.
Cool space
Did you
up there.
sit on a blanket? I just can't imagine you doing that.
No, it was Morrissey, so I bought a seated ticket up front.
I don't see you crisscross applesauce and it on a blanket.
I don't really do that.
I know. You'd be very uncomfortable.
I thought when you said that, like, do you sit on a blanket? And I thought he'd say, no, I'm on the grass, of course. Like, I sit on the grass.
No, I feel like Case's pants wouldn't fit if he sat in that position.
What does that mean?
Because I see you fidgeting with him all the time. There's no way you can sit crisscross applesauce.
Do I fidget with my pants?
Yes.
You're a pants fidgeter.
Yeah.
Brian, do I fidget with my pants?
While you're on air, you touch your pants a lot. The whole time you're talking.
What, like my hands on my junk?
Well, you like fix your belt a lot, like in the belt loop area. And I'm like, what's happening? You're not even moving. Like that's what people do when they're like hanging shelves, and you're just doing it standing there. It's like your go-to awkward move. You touch your pants.
You ever watch Jim Harbaugh on the sideline, college football coach, now your Chargers coach?
Well, not my Chargers. I don't care about the Chargers. I know his assistant coach more so than I know him.
He wears khakis.
Okay.
And he grabs them a lot at the belt line. He's not fat, but he just grabs them and adjusts his pants a lot. You do that.
There's not a chance. All I'm saying is no way you could sit on a blanket comfortably with the way you have to fondle your pants all the time.
He's a pants fondler.
Yeah, no way.
Well, we'll find out next week at Picnic at the Taste of Randolph.
You're groping yourself on the grass.
I also want to mention real quick, our house band, the Double Features. We love these guys.
Yes.
They create, not only do they do our theme song, but over the years, they've created so many funny parody songs for us. They have a night of original music that is tomorrow in Valpo at Front Porch Music. Doors at 7, show at 8. More info at Q101.com, or you can reach out to those guys directly. That is going to be an awesome time. Double features in Valpo tomorrow at Front Porch Music.
The best guys, and they're so fun, and they're so good. So go to that show. Kenzie, what do you got for the weekend Q101?
Okay, so this is important because this is not only a fun thing you do this weekend, but you can also win while you're at it.
Okay.
So join us, Q101, at the Barn Hockey Bar. Now, this is for your chance to win exclusively beer with the band experience. So it's going to be this Saturday again at the Barn Hockey Bar. This Saturday from 5 to 7. That's how you can win your chance to have an ice cold Stella with Local H and Lauren O'Neill during Picnic.
How about it?
Which is the following weekend. So one, you go out, it's going to be fun, but then you have a chance to have even more fun the next Saturday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it, Stella Artois. Love drinking a bunch of Stellas.
Stella. Hook us up.
Good beer. All right, so that is all that information at Q101.com. By the way, we have another experience coming up in just about 10 minutes at 9:20 for your chance at the beaches in the lounge and then a picnic experience that we'll talk about here with Brian and Kenzie in a second. But first, I got to mention for the weekend Q101, it's one of my favorite things about Chicago, playing the guitar, of course. Blues Fest is this weekend in Chicago. It's been going on for 40 years, since 1984, one of the biggest in the world blues festivals. And who's headlining this year? It's our guy, Buddy Guy. And I can remember, again, they're not reminisce too much today, but Buddy Guy's restaurant, again, first moving here to Chicago, one of the first things I did was go down there, and that's when Buddy Guy would be hanging out in there a lot. And I remember he said, you guys hungry? I go, yeah. I want to sit down and get some food and watch some blues tonight. And then the guy seated us. And then he got to the stage and started playing, and it was Buddy Guy that seated us. I didn't even know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, my God, I'm some young punk kid there. Oh, wow, you're Buddy Guy, and just ripped it up. He is, I believe, 88 now. And so this is a thing for, me. He's 87. Sorry,
Wow.
buddy. Didn't want to put more on your... He's the last original blues man standing. And you've got to see these guys, these treasures. These are like Chicago living landmarks while they're alive. And listen, he's good and healthy, and I think he's going to live to 100. but you got to go out there. You never know when he's going to stop playing because he's been playing guitar for about, 80 years. So go to Blues Fest. A lot of the stages are free. And what's fun, Kingston Mines, bars like that, Blues, Chicago. Later on in the night, a lot of these guys go over and play at those bars. Just a little pro tip for you.
It's going to be an awesome time.
I love Blues Fest so much. It's so Chicago and it's so awesome. So, yeah, go do that and all the other stuff at Q101.com for the weekend Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Lauren coming in, taking you through the rest of this day. And remember, this is the last weekend before picnic, so get that on your calendar for next weekend. But Q101.com, the weekend Q101 for stuff this weekend is sitting there for you. Now, takeaways from the entire week of shows with Brian and Kenzie. Case, what do you got?
Rob checked in from Chicago. His takeaway, the English language has too many words.
Amen. Like, relax.
Relax. And actually, it's too many words for stuff and things.
Yeah, too many words. Everything is a word when you think about it.
God.
Just, take it down a notch,
So exhausting.
You only need one way to say something. We have 18.
Yep.
Anywho.
Which is one of those many words.
See, way too many.
Yeah.
Baby Daddy Dave, sometimes mothers don't know better.
That's
Especially
right.
when they're telling you to murder people.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, Mama don't know best.
Yeah.
That's when you need to realize that.
Sometimes you can disobey your parents.
And when they ask you to kill people, it's time to take a step back and think about it.
Just really be clear on that.
Yes.
Takeaway from 708. Finally, if Case were a soldier at D-Day, he'd call the police with a noise complaint. It was very loud.
It's past 10 o'clock.
It was just so loud.
Oh, God. I also want to do a bonus one since it's Friday. Alex just checked in. Birds definitely get tired of flying.
Oh, amen.
That's from earlier this week on the show.
What a great poll, Alex. Well done.
Well, you miss a moment, miss a lot. Case, what do you got on the podcast?
Well, I learned that I should never do anything nice for anybody. National Donut Day took a dark turn this morning. Also, Pat Sajak made Brian an emotional man, and we reviewed Saving Private Ryan for the 80th anniversary of D-Day. That is my classic movie review this week. All that and more, Brian and Kenzie podcast. Share it with a friend this weekend.
Yeah, be good to everybody this week and have some fun. Q101.com, and the podcast can be found anywhere you find your podcasts.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.